remember, an inequality, girls, has a less than sign or a greater than sign instead of an equal sign, right? And then they'll tell you x is an element of either n, z, or r, right? So it'll say x is an element of n, x is an element of z, or it'll say x is an element of r, right? When you're finished with these, you draw your answer on a number line, right? And this just tells you, whichever one they tell you, just tells you what to draw on the number line. So if you're doing natural numbers, you draw dots, right? Okay. If you're doing integers, which are positive and negative whole numbers, you draw dots. And if you're doing real numbers, you do a thick heavy line, because real numbers are all the fractions and all the decimals and everything included, right? So you do a thick line. Okay, is that alright? Okay, so we'll pretend this one here told us x is an element of z. Okay, so that's what this one told us. This is the possibilities of what they could tell us. This is what this one says. Okay, so what you do is you build your wall. X is on one side, numbers on the other. So you're moving the 5. Minus 2x stays put. Right, 9 is where you want it to be. The 5 comes over the wall and becomes a minus 5. So you get minus 2x is less than 4. Then you need to divide each side by what? Minus 2. Now this is the big difference between inequalities and equations. If you divide by a negative number, what have you to do? You have to reverse the inequality sign. So I need to divide each side by minus 2. So that means because I'm dividing by a negative number, that was a less than, now it's a greater than. If I was dividing by a positive number, there's no change. Only change if you divide by a negative number, right? So they cancel and you get x is greater than minus 2. Okay? So then you draw your number line. Am I doing dots or a thick heavy line? Dots. I'm doing dots because it's z. N and z are dots. Thick line is only for r. So I'm doing dots. I'm starting at, where am I starting? Minus 2. Is minus 2 included? As in, is minus 2 part of my answer? No. How do you know it's not part of your answer? Because there's no, if it was part of the answer, there'd be an equal to there, right? But there isn't. So that means I'm starting on minus 2, but I'm not including minus 2. So you put an open circle on minus 2 to show that's where I'm starting, but it's not part of my answer. Okay, then I'm going greater than minus 2. So which way is greater than minus 2? Minus 1. So a dot on minus 1. Then I'm going 0. Then I'm going 1. And now I'm tired, so I'll just do an arrow to show it goes on forever. Okay? Yes?
Why did you switch the sign around again?
Because I divided by a negative number, right? You know, I ended up with minus 2x is less than 4, so I need to divide by minus 2. So
say I said I switched it before I divided, so I said 2x, minus 4 divided by 2, and I still got minus 2. Do I still have to switch the sign?
yes, because you changed the signs there at one stage, right? So you had minus 2x is less than 4. So then you changed the signs, didn't you? So you said 2x and minus 4, which is perfectly correct. But when you're changing the signs, you're actually multiplying across by a negative number. So that means you have to change the signs. Okay? So you have to reverse the inequality. Okay? And then divide by 2 and you get the exact same answer. Okay? Right? I do another one? Right. Okay. Well, I think that's as hard as they get, to be fair. Right? Okay? Right? Can I... Right? And remember, all these are in your log tables, so you don't have to... So x is less than 3x minus 1. X is an element of r. Okay, remember this is for the end, right? And at the end, what am I going to be drawing? Dots or a heavy line? Heavy line, right? Okay, so build a wall. X is on one side, numbers on the other. So this x is where I want it to be. This 3x needs to come over the wall. It becomes a minus 3x. Then that's a less than sign, and minus 1 is here already. Okay? So x, take away 3x, what would that be? minus 2x. It's 1x, take away 3x is minus 2x, right? Okay, now what do I need to divide by? Minus 2. Because I'm dividing by a negative number, what do I need to do? Reverse that. Okay? Now if I divide, I'll do one where I divide by a positive number in a minute, and then you don't reverse the sign. Okay? They cancel, and you get x is greater than, minus divided by minus is a plus, and that's 1 over 2 is just a half. Right? So I'm starting at a half. Right? Am I including a half? No. So I do an open circle to say I'm starting at a half, but it's not included. Right? So then I'm going greater than a half. So which way is greater than a half? What's next? 1, 2, 3. I'm not putting dots because I'm going to colour it in with a big, thick, heavy line and put an arrow to show it goes forever.
Would you not put it up a small bit?
Move it up a small bit, sorry, yeah.
Would you not put it like 1.5?
You can if you want, but it doesn't matter, because once you just want them to know, I know which way is greater than.
Yeah.
So, and it's the thick heavy line covers the 1 and the 1.5 and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't matter what you put in, as long as you put in one number that's greater than, so you show the person correcting that you know which way is greater than a half.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do one more. Right, okay. Now, and what I see? Yeah. No. Give me a sec. I'm looking for one. Here, this will do. 4 times x plus 2 is less than 2x minus 4. Is that right? And we'll go x is an element of z. Okay? So this is for the end. What will I be drawing? Dots. Right? Okay? Right. So multiply out your brackets first. So what will I get? 4x plus 8. Right? Is less than 2x minus 4. Right? Build a wall. X is on one side, numbers on the other. Right? Okay? So leave the 4x. Plus 8 is moving. This is less than, actually I'm going to change this to this. That's okay. Right? 2x is moving, minus 4 stays put. Right? 8 comes over and becomes a minus 8. And 2x goes the other way and becomes a minus 2x. So 4x take away 2x is 2x less than or equal to minus 4 minus 8 is what? Minus 12. Right? Okay. Then what have I to do? Divide by 2. So I'm dividing by 2. So the fact that I'm dividing by a positive number means there's no change to this. It stays the same. So x is less than or equal to minus 12 divided by 2 is minus 6. Okay? So I'm starting at, where am I starting? At what, dots or heavy line? Dots. Where am I starting? Minus 6. Is minus 6 included? Yeah, so that means I do a coloured in dot at minus 6. Now I have to go less than minus 6. So which way is less than minus 6? Minus 7. Minus 8. I'm tired. I just, yeah. Is that alright? So an error to show goes on forever. Think we're okay with inequalities? Yeah. Okay. I'm moving on to simultaneous equations. So, yes?
Does it matter which way you write them on the number line? Like if I took the minuses over this side, just for that one?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Right, yeah, it does matter. The number line has to have the minus numbers down here, 0 here, and the plus numbers up here. Okay? So, yeah, you wouldn't be the first one to write a number line backwards, and they would penalise you for it. Okay? Right, they would, I would. Right, whoever's correcting. Is that right? Simultaneous equations. I'm just going to go straight and give you one to do, because I need a break. Right, so simultaneous equations. Right, I'm going to presume you remember how to do them. Right, okay? And if you don't, I'll have to do it. Okay? So if I go with Off you go. Do you remember how to do them? You do. You take the number in front of y and you multiply the second line by that number. Take the number in front of y here and multiply the top line by that number. Right? Then you get the y's to cancel and you squash it into 1. Have a go, see how you get on. If you get stuck, I'll be doing it in a minute, okay?
Wait, miss, do you multiply the top line by 2, so?
You multiply, yeah, there's a 5 in front of the y here, so you multiply the second line by 5, and there's a 2 in front of the y here, so you multiply the top line by 2. Then you see, have they opposite signs? If they don't have opposite signs, you need to change the signs. Say that again? Is the answer a fraction? Oh, it could be. 8x, because I picked it from near the bottom. Yes.
You know, when you get after the part you're doing now, like, do you know when you get the answers in the both of them multiplied out? What
Yeah.
do you take after that again?
So have you found out what x is?
No. I'd like, wait one minute. Yeah, I've got to wait in spot there.
Now, have you that line done?
Yeah.
Right, okay, you know you plus 10y and plus 10y. They don't cancel. One of them needs to be a minus. So you have to change the sign of one of the lines. So we'll change the sign of the second one. So minus, that becomes a minus, and that becomes a minus. Because it was plus 10y and plus 10y. Plus 10y and plus 10y don't cancel. You need them to cancel. One has to be a plus and one has to be a minus. So, yes. Unless they're both, sometimes they might be a plus and a minus already. If they're a plus and a minus already, you don't need to change the sign. Yeah, you'd have to do the same, yeah, for one of them. So this would be minus 22x equals, minus 33. Yeah, it is a fraction, yeah. Then you divide each side by minus 22. And on your calculator, that would be x is equal to 3 over 2 or 1.5, whichever you prefer. I gave you a hard one, sorry. I didn't mean to give you one with a fraction in it, but look, it is what it is. 8, take away 30.
If I did it the other way, so if I did it that I make the line 8 minus 6.
Yes, you would get plus 22 equals plus 33.
At the actual equation, where it says 5 minus 2, are you trying to find like the common factor? 10. You're trying to make that like.
Yeah, you're trying to make them both 10. But you don't even have to think about a factor, right? Okay, it's just multiply that line by 5 and that line by 2. It's always multiplied by the opposite line.
Will that always be the case?
Yeah, that'll always be the case. Right? Okay, when you've that done, when you figured out one, you're not finished. You need to find y, right? So everywhere I see an x, put in a 3 over 2 or a 1.5. Yeah. So what I need to do is this. Yeah. No, I don't know. Right? Plus 5y equals 16. 4 times 1.5 is 6 in the calculator, okay? So 6 plus 5y equals 16. 5y equals 16 minus 6 when it comes over. So that means 5y is equal to 10. And then you divide by 5 and you get y is equal to 10 over 5, which means y is equal to 2. So there's your answer, 3 over 2, 2. Is that alright? Yeah, you definitely can. Right, I won't be as mean this time. Here again. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll be getting onto that, don't worry. And is there one on? Yes, there is. What? Simultaneous equations, one quadratic. Okay? I'm hoping to get to it today. If I don't, I'll get it in the first class tomorrow. Right? Because first class tomorrow, I'm finishing off algebra, and second class, I'm doing coordinate geometry of the line. Okay? And then I'll have everything revised with you. There you go, simultaneous equations, work them out.
You know, when you're multiplying, you take the minus as well.
No, just take the number and then change the signs.
Next. You know, when I'm changing signs, if I'm changing the second line, do I change the 6 to a plus 6? No, to a minus 6.
Which 6 would that be?
Sorry, when I've done the multiplication stuff.
So what did you multiply the top line by?
5,
What did you multiply the bottom line by?
3.
You never end up with a 6. Oh, here. Oh yeah. So yeah, you change that. There's no sign in front of that, so that means it's a plus, so you change it to a minus. Yeah. I don't think so. Right, hang on. Is it? You got that? Oh, for God's sake. Multiply top line by 5, multiply bottom line by 3. 20x minus 15y equals 115. 6x minus 15y equals 24. They're both minuses, so that means you just change one of the lines. So change the second line, that becomes a minus, that becomes a plus, that becomes a minus. So you get 14x equals 91. And then when you divide by 14, x is equal to 91 over 14. You get x is equal to 6.5, 6.5. If you want to leave that as 13 over 2, it's fine too. Right. Yeah, sorry. Then you have to go find y. So take the top equation, 4x minus 3y equals 23. I've now figured out x stands for 6.5, so put it in. So it's 4 times 6.5 minus 3y equals 23. That's 27, is it? 26. Minus 3y equals 23 minus 26. That means minus 3y is equal to minus 3. Divide each side by minus 3. And you get y is equal to plus 1. Is that right? Able to do them? Shall I move it on? Right, okay. Next section. Application of simultaneous equations. Section 2.9, you can leave it out. Okay, as in word equations, I haven't given you any. Right, okay. So there's no equations in words. Okay, so they'll just all be written for you. Okay, did you all hear that? Section 2.9, you can leave it out. Right, the next one is changing the subject of the formula. Okay, so basically, if I have something like, let's go.
What's this then? Changing subject of the formula?
Yeah, it's section 210. C equals 6E minus 12. Okay? Now, you have to make E the subject of the formula. Right, would you prefer if I just did X and Y? Right, okay. So make Y the subject of the formula. So, at this present moment in time, what's the subject of the formula? X, because X equals everything else. Now they want you to change it, move it around, okay, so that Y equals everything else, right? Okay, so that just means bring everything with a Y in it to the left-hand side, bring everything else to the right. So the X is I'm bringing Y's over here, so X is moving. 6Y is going over there, minus 6Y. Minus 12 is here already, so leave it here. X comes over and becomes a minus X. Then what's stuck to the Y? It's actually a minus 6, so divide each side by minus 6. They cancel and you get Y is equal to minus 12 minus X all over minus 6. Now you could simplify that, but you don't need to. Full maths. You leave it like that. So hard.
With the fractions.
Yeah, listen. Right, okay. What if I had something like, wait, not like C. Yeah?
You know if you, when you have minus 6y equals minus 12 minus x,
Yeah?
if you change, you know the way you can change all the signs?
Yeah, so you could get 6y is equal to 12 plus x, and then you divide by 6, and you get y is equal to 12 plus x over 6. That's the exact same answer, you've just changed all the signs.
So you still get it right.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yours even looks better than mine, but they're the same thing. Okay?
And you're making the y the subject of the
Yeah, you're making y the subject of the formula. Okay, so you're making y the subject of the formula. So
what's over the other side?
over here,
Yeah.
nothing. That was me answering a question for Annabelle. Ignore it. Right. Okay. So if I have something like AP plus BQ equals K, and I want you to make P the subject of the formula. Okay? So make P the subject of the formula. That means anything with a P in it goes on the left, anything else goes on the right. Okay? So what's the first line read? AP K minus BQ. Now what's stuck to the P? A, so how'll I get rid of it? Divided by A, so divide that side by A, divide that side by A. A's cancel and that's your answer. P equals K minus BQ over A. Right?
There was one, it's like take that much.
Yeah, that's when it appears twice. Right? Okay. The hardest, there's ones with fractions and square roots, don't worry about those, right, for this year, right? Let's worry about one like this. AB equals 5 plus 3A, and the story is make A the subject of the formula. Now what's different about this one? Why am I doing this one? There's two A's, right? So you have to bring everything with an A in it to the left, okay? So AB has an A in it, so it needs to be on the left, right? 5 stays put because it has no A in it. Plus 3A needs to come over because it's got an A in it, so it becomes a minus 3A. Now, okay, I need to turn this two A's, right? I need to turn it into one A. How do you do it? It's a net, you take out the fraction. Or, sorry, you take out what's common. What's common? A. What's left? B minus 3 equals 5. Then you ask yourself, what's stuck to the A? B minus 3, so you divide each side by B minus 3. And they cancel, and you get A is equal to 5 all over B minus 3. That's as hard as they're going to get. Sorry? This is 210. It's changing the subject of the formula. Right, that's the end of chapter 2. Where did I do that? Why did I leave that out? Where is it? because it's very important that I do that. We definitely did that. And why? Is there another chapter that I missed out on? Oh yeah, it's in the next chapter. Right, I'm going to jump to section 3.5. Don't leave out the other sections, it's just I'll come back and revise those tomorrow. Forward. Right, okay, 74. We're moving on to, I'm telling you now. We're moving on to solving simultaneous equations where one linear is one quadratic. Right, this is section 3.5, guards, in the book. Right, now I haven't left out 3.1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm coming back to them tomorrow, right, okay? So you can't leave them out, okay? Right, but I'm just jumping to this because it's in my head to do this today. Right, so here is one quadratic, here's one equation, x plus y equals 3. Here's another equation. Can I ask you not to bother writing this down, right? For two reasons. It's in your notes. I'm actually taking one of the examples out of the book. So it'd be more beneficial to you to listen, right? Because it's in the book and it's probably in your notes as well, right? So it's more beneficial to listen. You can write if you want. I'm not telling you not to write. I'm just telling you there's no need to write. Okay, right. These are simultaneous equations. One quadratic, one linear. Which one's the quadratic one? X squared plus y squared equals 17. Right, okay? So there is one of these in your test, I don't mind telling you. Right, and the one I gave you on the last test had a minus sign in it and it really messed us up. There's no minus in this one, I made sure. Right, okay. Right, so you start with the linear equation. Which is the linear equation? X plus y equals 3. Now you rearrange so you have x equals or you have y equals. Doesn't matter in this case. No. Right, sometimes there might be a 2 in front of the x or the y and then you don't have a choice. But this one you have a choice. So what do you want to do? X equals what? 3 minus y. Okay? That's step 1 done.
You change the linear, is it?
Yeah, the linear. So that's step 1. Step 2, you go to the quadratic. X squared plus y squared equals 17. But you've just figured out that x is the same as 3 minus y. So everywhere I see an x, what am I going to write? So that's 3 minus y to be squared plus y squared equals 17. Right, what does 3 minus y to be squared means? It means 3 minus y multiplied by 3 minus y. Right, then we have a plus y squared equals 17. Okay, how do you multiply out brackets again? First term multiplied by the second bracket. The rest of the first bracket minus y multiplied by the second bracket. So you split up the first bracket, you write the second bracket down twice. Is that okay? Is this all familiar? Then plus y squared, and while I'm at it, I'll bring the 17 over and make it what? Minus 17, so that it equals nothing. There isn't a thing left over there. Right? Square it out. 3 3s are 9 minus 3y. Then minus y by 3 is minus 3y. And then I have minus y by minus y, which is what? Plus y squared. Right? Then I have another plus y squared. And I have a minus 17 equals 0. Tidy it up, put my y squared terms first. So y squared and y squared makes what? 2y squared. I have minus 3y makes what? Minus 6y. And I have 9 minus 17. What does that do? No, that's when you're multiplying. When you're adding, you're at minus 3 and you go down another minus 3, so you end up at minus 6. Right, equals 0. Okay, I can make life, right, you lot, you might want to go to the minus b formula straight away. Right, The minus b formula is too long for me, so I'm going to notice that everything divides by what? 2. So this divides by 2, this divides by 2, this divides by 2. You don't need to divide by 2 if you go to the minus b formula because you get the same answer. What? When it says factorize, but this says solve. When it says solve, the minus b formula is in. Right? Okay, I'll do the factorizing and whatever tomorrow. So they cancel, you get y squared. Minus 6y, 6 divided by 2 is 3y, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, I want my factors. So I have 2 sets of brackets. Factorize y and y. So I want the factors of 4 that subtract to give me 3. So what's that? 4 and 1. And you put this sign with the bigger number. So minus 4 plus 1. Check your answer. In the middle, minus 4y, on the outside plus 1y, which will give me minus 3y. Okay? But I know most of you prefer the minus b formula, so off you go to the minus b formula, you get the exact same answer. I'm not finished yet. I need to let each bracket equal 0. So I get, y equals 4. And I let the other bracket equal 0, so I get y plus 1 equals 0, so that means y is equal to minus 1. Right? I still have one step to do. For each y, I have to get a what? A matching x. So you go right back up to x equals 3 minus y. The very first step is also your very last step. Okay? So when y is 4, that means x is equal to 3 minus 4. So that means x is equal to minus 1. That's one set of answers. And then the other set of answers was y is equal to minus 1. So x is equal to 3 minus 1. Sorry, that's a minus 1. So that becomes a plus 1. So that means x is equal to 4. So there's your other set of answers. X is 4, y is minus 1. Yeah. Is that alright?
Yeah.
Okay? Right, yes.
I keep getting 2.8.
Okay. Did you get y?
I did the
Minus b formula. Did you do the minus b formula from 2y squared minus 6y minus 8?
yeah.
So you said a was 2, you said b was minus 6, and you said c was minus 8, right? So then you said minus b, so it's minus 6 plus minus the square root of b to be squared is minus 6 to be squared minus 4 multiplied by a is 2, c is minus 8, all divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times 2. Okay, so that would be a plus. Yeah, and when you key that into the calculator, you should get the right answer. Make sure you have your minus signs and stuff there, okay? Right, girls, those are on page 75, okay? So I'm not marking homework for you, but have a go at a couple of those, okay? Because if they're okay, we can move on tomorrow, because we have a lot to get through tomorrow. Okay?